Welcome back. College football. We'll get to Pitt next segment. We're talking about the 4 teams that should be there this week. We almost saw 1, 2, and 3 lose on the same day. That hasn't happened since 1966. But yesterday we saw 1, Georgia, they lost. 3, Miami get blown, or Notre Dame get blown out by Miami. Excuse me. And Alabama, number 2, almost lost at Mississippi State. So, Andrew, I'll start with you on this one. When you look into the 4 teams that will be there this week, tell me which ones will. And on top of that, Alabama. Is that the one team that's going to be in there, even if they do lose next week?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest theme to this weekend. Amid all the chaos, Alabama guaranteed that the most losses it can finish with is 1. That's either going to be to Auburn in 2 weeks or Georgia in the SEC championship game. There's no way the committee would leave a 1-loss Alabama team out, so I think they're number 1 in the rankings this week. I think that they're a lock. I think Wisconsin is still on the outside looking in. I have them 5th. And I think they're going to need help, even if they go undefeated, to make the playoff.
Yeah, Pony and I were discussing this off camera. I think there's no way that committee lets a Big Ten team that's 13-0 keeps them out of a playoff. I just don't see it.
Yeah, they can't.
Well, they left the Big Ten champion out last year.
But they weren't 13-0.
They had 2 losses.
Right, which is a big, big difference. If Wisconsin keeps rolling, they're in.
Well, who the heck is Wisconsin beat?
But if they get to 13-0, they will have beaten Michigan and they will have beaten either Penn State or Ohio State. That's going to be enough.
Okay, so they're going to leave Oklahoma out. Big 12 champion wins against TCU twice at Ohio State.
Then just blow up the system if you have a Power 5 conference.
Why don't we go to 16 teams like we do in every other division?
But we're not doing that now. We're not doing that now, so we have to talk about the 4.
Right, exactly.
And that's a good point, because if Alabama has that kind of credibility, someone's not going to get in. The question is, which of these teams won't go in?
It won't be Wisconsin if they're undefeated.
So you think that the 13 people, or whatever the number is, that make up that committee would look at Alabama with 1 loss in Wisconsin and say Wisconsin's a better team? Wisconsin is better than Alabama. There's no way.
But it doesn't necessarily have
to come down. They always give Alabama the benefit of the doubt.
But it wouldn't necessarily have to come down to those 2 teams, Andrew.
Well, the other teams we're talking about that Bob has referenced are all ahead of Wisconsin now. So if Oklahoma wins out, how are they going to go below Wisconsin?
They won't.
Exactly. Clemson's going to duck below them.
But the committee does this they've done this every year.
There's a yo-yo effect all the time.
They have these red herring polls, and they flip it at the end. Didn't they screw TCU out of a spot last year?
But TCU beat a bad Iowa State team, and Ohio State beat Wisconsin. They had a better win the last week.
But they flipped it. I mean, but we're talking about what it's going to be on December 10th, and we're talking about what's going to be tomorrow.
Here's my thing, Will. If we just go by record, okay, why doesn't the NCAA tournament committee just say, we'll seed the teams by the best records? If Gonzaga's undefeated, they're number 1. The team with 1 loss, they're number 1 seed. It's not just your record. It's who you beat, your quality of win.
Well, here's what's going to happen anyway.
Wisconsin can't. It's not
Wisconsin's going to lose anyway.
Yes,
so
it is
it's not
their
going to matter.
Will. They're out of conference is a joke.
Wisconsin's going to lose.
That's a Paul Chryst school of business, man.
It's their fault that they scheduled BYU, Florida Atlantic, and Utah State, and they should have to pay for that.
You ever been to Provo, Andrew? It's not an easy place to win.
All right. Let me ask
you this.
The
game was in Madison.
That's a good question, because these schedules are on the...
No, it wasn't. Not this year. It was in Provo.
Will Graves.
Yeah.
What has a better chance of happening, as we discussed earlier? West Virginia beating Oklahoma, because they do play in a couple of weeks, or Pitt beating Miami here in Pittsburgh?
I mean, if Miami's they've already got the division locked. The WVU alum here thinks it's more likely that West Virginia wins in Oklahoma than Miami beats Pitt, than Pitt beating Miami. If Miami knows if it's undefeated, it has a chance to go to the national title game.
I struggle to find a way that Pitt's going to win one of their last 2 games and be competitive in it.
See, I think that Miami's.
I think they'll be competitive.
I'm going to say Pitt, because Miami knows it's already in the ACC championship game.
Yeah, but one loss. I think 1 loss. If they lose to Pitt,
it would be.
We're talking about resumes here. How do you explain? Well, we lost to Pitt. But
okay, well, hold on a second, Will. Then you would automatically disqualify Clemson, right? Because they lost to Syracuse. I mean, to me, Syracuse and Pitt are analogous. My point is, it would be easy.
No, Syracuse and Pitt aren't analogous to you. Don't lie to anybody, Andrew.
No, but the point is well taken.
My point is, we've seen Pitt 10 years ago do the same thing to a West Virginia team. I've seen Miami in the last game of the season look past Pitt recently.
But Miami's defense is playing at a level. I mean, to think that Pitt is going to.
Pitt has a quarterback problem, a big one.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to see Pitt moving the ball.
I can't see West Virginia going to Norman and winning, so I'm just pretty much saying Pitt.
They got a Wilt G on their team, so I think they got a good shot.
There you go. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the Pitt Panther discussion. Pat Narduzzi, year 3, where are they in this program? And the issue of tarping the upper deck. That's coming up. I'm all choked up about it. It's next, right here on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.